Geza Zandler has disappeared in many situations today around food and health. Hand washing was really important, and this is a key starting point in work in relation to pandemics. And a lot of this work was done by Mba Mangele, Sibongile Masugu, Mba particularly working with her mother on hand washing as a heritage to protect us in pandemic times. And today, it's just as important as it has always been. And we can pick it up in the history of hand washing in villages, where villages were maintained as bubbles, disease-free bubbles in the earliest times. And the key disease that challenged them was cholera. So rural villages would always welcome visitors with hand washing, Geza Zandler, before sharing food. They did this to welcome and refresh people. You'd always get food arriving at a rural village, and it would keep the village safe, because cholera is a hand-to-hand and hand-to-mouth disease. And by washing hands, it would keep the disease outside if a traveler had come up from the coast and was carrying the disease. Of course, water was precious, but everyone would still wash their hands before eating together. Today, people seldom wash hands before eating, but in many African countries, hand washing facilities are still provided at the entrance to restaurants, like when I was in Tanzania some years ago. It was fascinating to see that these traditions are still maintained. And of course, it relates very much to the pandemic that we've got at the moment. And how are things today? You can ask, well, we sanitize our hands today. But much of the sanitizing doesn't refer back to earlier pandemics of cholera in the whole Southern African region and how people wash their hands to maintain the village. We can challenge the children to come up with solutions. And a current debate that is really important is, do we vaccinate? And how are vaccinations achieved as an immunity? How did people achieve immunities in the past? And then what should we do today? And how can we try out and see that we are maintaining, even though we might be vaccinated, we're able to maintain health protocols in the school, and the school is going to be a healthy place for everyone. So hand washing and health has got a tremendous amount to offer us in terms of tuning in with curriculum and the concerns that are really latently present. And working with Indigenous knowledge allows us to touch the past with our memories and then remember how our parents used to teach us to wash our hands. And are we teaching our children, are we teaching our classes to wash their hands? Or have we got a little bit of COVID fatigue at the moment? And, how can we feel the future flying on the wings of our imagination, where jabs give us immunity, but hygiene keeps us safe at the same time? And we need both. So there's a tremendous potential for working with Indigenous heritage in relation to lessons around the pandemic, or just in daily class activities of keeping the class safe and deciding how to keep each other safe by the way that we wash our hands and look after the health of a whole class together.